guys, Tambo here with your Week 4 core report. Our cores have been on fire this season, and our guy Hoop nailed the Week 4 strategy, stacking up the Lions and Seahawks game. Hoop went cheap at quarterback, rostering Geno Smith with the double stack of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. He then went full onslaught for the game by adding Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinson, and Josh Reynolds from the Detroit side. Hoop topped off his lineup with several one-offs, including Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, and the Eagles D, racking up a score of 252 DraftKings points with a unique lineup that actually took out a 33-man dupe train, shipping the Hoopster $1 million in the Week 4 Millie Maker. Several of the players from Hoop's lineup appeared in his core plays and cash player pool provided to our premium members, who also had some pretty big weeks. MC won over 3K on DraftKings, Raholman hit for over 5K, Nika hit for over 6K, and Chase Addy NC shipped for over $45,000 on FanDuel. And Hoop isn't the only expert to hit big recently. JT Hayes hit for $20,000 in MLB last week. BigT hit once again, profiting over $33,000 on the NFL Week 4 afternoon slate. And our guy Locks had a huge night, shipping for over $213,000 on the Sunday night Showdown slate. You can watch all of our experts for free by visiting our YouTube channel and subscribing right now. For our premium content, where you can access all of our core plays, playbook, Discord, premium videos, and more, visit runpuresports.com and sign up for a membership today. At RPS, every sport is included for one low price. Sign up for our premium membership today, and let's keep running pure.
All right, guys and girls, we made it 162 games. It'll wrap up in about 55 minutes. Our last MLB slate. We got lock. What is that? 54 minutes and 17 seconds. So let's get into this today. We got a few games to do. Again, it's a 4:00 starts, and then they're going to let everybody rest for a couple of days before the 3-game series start in the playoffs. And I was just confirmed we will be doing playoff shows though, DC. So you haven't gotten rid of me for the offseason yet, my friend. Too bad.
Yeah, we got a few playoff shows added to the schedule starting Friday. And right now, it's a terrifying prospect because the only two people listed on those shows, Holden, are me and
no.
you.
Oh, so, hey, what are you doing next week?
I don't know about the 2-man 3-game baseball show.
Hey,
I
ain't around Saturday and Monday, so you might be doing those by yourself, my friend.
I mean, I might need to pay off Steve's employer to get him the day off so he can join us. Something like that. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Get Boynton as a buffer. No doubt. What's up, Hoop? How you doing, man? How you feeling?
Doing well. Yeah, doing well. Feeling fine. Yeah, I just pulled up the schedule here. Yeah, it looks like we got the 2-man boost so far. I mean, well, that'll be enjoyable for sure. But yeah, looking forward to
for who?
The viewers, maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, shit. Hold on a second, man. They pushed our cash show back on Friday so we can get an MLB playoff show in.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Great to hear.
Now I am. Yeah.
I'm actually hooping and I'm busting balls. I love the playoff. I actually love baseball till about July, and then it's football, and now it's baseball again. So this is exciting. Playoff baseball is pretty cool.
I might need to break out my old computer that shut it down once a week for the Friday morning show, and just hey, what do you know?
Be like, oops, the internet.
When DC turns into a ghost.
Yeah.
Oops. Things happen. All right, let's get into the slate though. We can't screw around too much because we don't have that much time. So let's get into pitching. Corbin Burns, Ohtani-san's out there. We got Valdez. We got Clayton Kershaw making a start before the playoffs. I'm interested in seeing how DP goes against Colorado today. Merrill Kelly's out there. DC, let's just do it. Top to bottom, who's in the pool today on game 162, where it's a complete crapshoot. And I can't bet this. Can I play some DFS? Do you have any information for me?
We'll try our best, but certainly a lot of guesswork on this slate. We just don't know how deep these pitchers are going to go. Lineups, we're going to get a lot of players pulled early after one or two at bats. And then we'll get other teams that just play it straight up, but it's really, really hard to know beforehand who is going to do what. I do think, like Clayton Kershaw, we do have some information there. He's going to go 4 or 5 innings, they've said. Like, on a normal slate, he would kind of become unplayable with that kind of restriction. On this slate, I mean, I don't know how many pitchers we're going to get, pitching into the 6th or 7th inning. So I think he's in play even with the limited workload, given the matchup against Colorado. I do have Ohtani as my number 1 guy. It just seems like he is finishing strong. They really haven't, held him back at all. He's been in the lineup every day when he's pitched fantastically. And I guess, in theory, at least still listed as a candidate, to win MVP. He's not going to win. Aaron Judge is going to win, but he's the 2nd place guy. So there is something to play for Ohtani. I do think he is, I personally think, the most likely guy to get through 6 or 7 innings and have kind of a full workload today, but we'll see. He is my number 1. I've got Burns number 2. I am worried about his workload for this game. Obviously, Milwaukee eliminated a couple days ago, nothing to play for here, but he's good enough. He's, had a strong season. He's been healthy. So maybe they let him go at home here. I'm not, again, hard to know. Framber Valdez, I think, will be pulled earlier than the Burns and Ohtani. Just kind of a guess there. So he's kind of the one, the high price guy that I'm scratching from my pool. I've got it Ohtani, Burns, Kershaw up top. And then I do think there are some cheaper pitchers you can roster. A couple guys. I'm looking at Domingo Germán for the Yankees pitching in Texas. We know Texas, nobody has anything to play for today, but Germán, I think, is kind of pitching for his postseason role on this Yankees team. So he should be focused. Texas running out a pretty bad lineup. No Corey Seager in the lineup for them. So he's interesting. I like Louis Varland a little bit for the Twins, kind of auditioning for a spot in the rotation next year. And then I did list Matthew Liberatore for the Cardinals, who is going to get a start here. He's been throwing, 90 to 100 pitches in all these starts in the minor league. So St. Louis, I assume they want to rest their bullpen, kind of rest all the arms that are going to contribute in the playoffs. If he's pitching well, and he certainly could be in Pittsburgh against that lineup, I think they'll probably just let him go. I don't really see why they wouldn't. He's 6,100, so he does provide some salary relief. Not that you need it today. I mean, there's just value all over the place, obviously, with all the hitters and kind of how DraftKings kind of mailed in the pricing to end the season. So that's my list. Again, not a huge amount of confidence in most of these guys. I do lean spending up my favorite pairing, right up at the top. Shohei Ohtani, Corbin Burns. I do expect those guys to get it done.
Hey, Hoop, you're pretty good at DFS. And talk to me about bankroll here. Do you think it's wise to take all your season winnings and just play it today? Just all of them?
Yeah. Yep. All in. All
right, let's do it. You heard it.
MLB DFS already has a lot of variance. Let's just go all in on the slate that has probably the most variance of the season. In terms of pitchers, this is clearly not what's the word I'm looking for? Well, trust DC on this one. Don't trust me, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because I have no idea what the hell's going to happen here. I mean, for sure, Ohtani. Like, I guess I would kind of lean with some of these teams that have nothing to play for, like nothing, not going into the playoffs. I guess I'd kind of lean with them. The teams that are in the playoffs could benefit more by some of these guys getting pulled early. So I do like Ohtani a lot at 10-9. Put him on the cash chart, tagged him. I think that's probably like the safest guy. And what is nice on the slate, though, we have so many cheap hitting options where you don't need to try to get cute at pitcher. Like, you can just play the ones that we feel most confident in. Whether that's like Ohtani and Burns, that pairing together still leaves you a little over 3,500 for each roster spot. Every team has like a full punt, multiple full punts on them for the most part today. So like, you don't have to go and play some of these cheap, crappy guys. So I'm just going to roll, probably basically all Ohtani, Burns, the Kershaw thing, 4 or 5 innings. If he in 4 or 5 innings, he can easily get 20 some points. It's definitely would be good enough on the slate. So, no strong convictions for me at the pitcher position.
Damn, dude, that was fast. That was a fast breakdown. So let's just get to the offense. We won't mess around. Hit the like button, by the way. We did have a really cool message. Who was it, Ron? I don't know if it's Reese or Rice. So I won't say it. Guys, I want to tell you how much I enjoyed the shows this year. You guys are the absolute best. You make each day in my office more enjoyable. I enjoy the mature and intelligent approach. Obviously not talking about me, but our analysts. No way, Ron. You're talking about me and intelligent and classy and everything else. So, and mature. But congrats, Ron. I'm glad you won some money this year. I'm glad you guys are having a good time. And, we do the free shows for a lot of people. We do the up to lock for our subscribers. And I'm glad that we helped you win some money this year. That's very important, right? Let's get into the Angels and the A's. We'll start with this big slate. So guys, we got 45 minutes to lock. If you got nothing to say about a game, we'll move on. You like the Angels today, don't you, DC?
Yeah, kind of hard not to. The guy they're going up against, Ken Waldichuk, does have some talent. He does have strikeout stuff, but he also can be wild, can get blown up, and actually really good hitting weather, at least in comparison to the rest of the slate in Oakland. 75, 80 degrees, some humidity, wind blowing out. And the Angels, with their ace on the hill in Ohtani and in the lineup, can't play Ohtani as a hitter still, which is annoying. But I do still kind of like the rest of their bats. It just kind of seems like, if they're running out Ohtani on game 162 as their pitcher and they've got Mike Trout in the lineup, seems like they are going to just try to win the game as normal. I do think there's a lot of pinch hit risk all over around the league, but it does, just reading the tea leaves, it does seem like the Angels are just going to, play the game as usual and go out and try to win it. So, I do like this team. Rengifo, Trout, Taylor Ward. My three favorite bats can include Joe Adell, Matt Duffy is cheap if you want to, but yeah, specifically those kind of, three of the top four because Ohtani's sitting third. But I do like their team quite a bit. And then obviously on Ohtani on the other side, not going to play any A's on offense.
Okay, what do you got on this one? Angels and A's, Hoop? Anything?
Yeah, same thoughts. I mean, in on the Angels for sure. I mean, seems like a good spot on the road. They're going to get their ninth inning at bat. And again, my mindset with a lot of these games it's going to be to lean towards the teams that really don't have anything to play for. I mean, no one really has it. I mean, everything's set, so no one has anything to play for. But I mean, the teams that aren't going to the playoffs, I kind of like them a little bit more on the slate. So super annoying, obviously, that the sites have not found a way to allow you to play Ohtani as a hitter. It definitely is slight downgrade to the Angel stack, but it just means you're going to play one more cheap bat, which makes it easy to pay up at pitcher for both those spots. So obviously Trout, Ward, Rengifo, Duffy. I mean, I'd play all these guys. So yeah, I like the Angels. Okay, you like the Angels. Let's get to the second game that we got here. Yankees and Texas. No Aaron Judge today. He's taking the day off. What do you guys think about that? DC? If I'm Aaron Judge, listen, he's probably just completely spent. The home run chase, they made up this whole AL record thing, so it was a big deal. He's dealing with the New York media. That's going to grind you down. I don't blame him for taking a day off with a 3-game series coming up, a very important one. But you tell me, talk to me here.
I mean, it's been a long time since he's had a day off, I'm sure, right? Chasing the record. I don't know how long it's been, but it seems got to be at least a couple months. Finally gets it with 1 game to go. I guess it's not shocking that he's taking a day off, especially because, the pressure cooker that he was under trying to get home run 62, it's not going to really relent, right? Your Yankees team going into the playoffs. So it's kind of right back to it for him. So I understand taking this game off.
Real quick, by the way, he's off till next Tuesday, right? Because they're not playing in that first round. So he's going to have almost a week. He's going to have a week.
He deserves it. He deserves some time off. I'm glad he got it. Seems like a good dude. So I'm glad he did get that record. But he's out of the lineup, which makes the Yankees obviously much less appealing. I still think you could go to this team if you wanted to. Glenn Otto, not any good. Playing in the dome, maybe if the roof's open, I'm not sure. But either way, not a terrible place to hit given the, construct of the slate and just not that good of hitting weather most places. So Yankees not high on my list, but I do think they're in play. And like I said, I do like if you want to go to a cheaper pitcher, you don't need to, but if you want to, I do think Domingo Armand's got a decent chance to pitch pretty well and go fairly deep into this one. So he's someone I'm looking at. Not going to play many Rangers. Mostly a write-off game for me.
What do you think of Judge taking the day off? And then you got anything from this Yankees game today as they take on the Rangers?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose he earned it. I mean, they built up this whole thing. I mean, it's just funny how everyone forgets about, Barry Bonds throughout all this. I mean, I'm sure that's what, baseball's trying to do, get everyone to forget about Barry Bonds. But like, what he had 70?
I think I'm not a big conspiracy guy. I think MLB was in on that. I think they wanted to push the whole Aaron Judge as the record holder thing.
Oh, I'm sure. I do. I'm sure. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure baseball was never more popular, I'm assuming, than when Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds were doing their thing. I mean, I'm sure they want that. I'd assume they want that. So yeah, obviously pushing that. Sure. Yeah, definitely earned the day off. So I'm okay with that. With the Yankees guys, though, I mean, it has to be risky for guys like Anthony Rizzo and Josh Donaldson. I mean, I can't imagine they make it all the way through this game. So that makes it very difficult to stack up the Yankees. And then on the Rangers side, there's just not much interest for me either. Josh Smith is 2.1K, shortstop eligible. I mean, he's probably in Jung. I played Jung at third base eligible, 2.6, but there's a ton of cheap guys out there. So it's hard, not a very appealing spot here.
All right. Our second best DFS player at RPS, Big T, says Holden in caps. Holden, tell the boys it's finally Twins Day after 161. Today is the day.
Oh, man.
I'm in. I'll go down one more time with the Twins. Why not?
I mean, it is 162. If there's ever a day they're going to do something, it's today.
I can't. Listen. I've stomached losing with the Twins many times this year. I cannot stomach the Twins being the winning stack on day 162 and not have two pieces. So yeah, I'll
use some crowns, DC. Just use some crowns. Get rid of your crowns.
You gotta save your crowns. Can't use the crowns, but I will be in on the Twins with.
All right, he's in on the Twins today. All right, we'll talk about that when we get to that game, which will be just a little. Which is after this game. Okay, St. Louis, Pittsburgh. Talk to me, DC. We want to go after Liberatore or Oviedo.
Two not great pitchers. I did list Liberatore just because I think he's one of the pitchers that's more likely to get a full workload. Like I said, he has been getting it in the minor leagues. And look at this Pittsburgh lineup. It's pretty atrocious. So 6,100. I do think he's one of the better pitching punts. On the other side, you could play the Pirates against Liberatore. He's been bad enough at the major league level where it's not a crazy cheap stack if you want to go that way. Oviedo, do we have the Cardinals lineup yet? I thought I saw it.
There it is. Goldschmidt's out.
Goldschmidt. I also saw Arenado is going to get, I think I saw 2 at bats, which, kind of makes you question Tommy Edman, the rest of the guys in this game. Who knows what they're going to do. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to go to the Cardinals or, frankly, the Pirates. I'll pass on this game for offense. It would be the Pirates side that I'm more interested in, I think.
Okay. Talk to me here, Hoop. You got anything in this game?
Yeah, some interest in the Pirates. Pretty cheap full stack. I think these guys do play the entire game. Everyone's cheap, and then O'Neal Cruz is like one of the most expensive guys at 5'6". So it's somewhat interesting. But yeah, I like these guys a little bit, mostly because of the positions they fill. You get Newman, second shortstop eligible, Castro, second third base eligible, Brian Hayes, third base eligible. So they fill some of those weird DFS spots. So yeah, moderate interest here in the Pirates just because of the price tags and the positions.
Okay, very good. Now we got the Twins and the White Sox. Who are we firing up from the Twins here, DC?
Yeah, I think you can play most of these bums. I'm probably not going to do anything, but you can certainly put them in your lineup. One more chance with the top of the Twins lineup. Nick Gordon, been a guy that's been actually pretty good for us. Luis Arias trying to lock up that batting title today. Urshela Sanchez, I think, is one of the better catchers against a really bad pitcher in Davis Martin. Good hitting weather in Chicago. The 94th time the Twins have been in a good spot this year. I think they've come through like 2 or 3 of those times. So good odds for me and Big T with the Twins today.
Yeah. Hoop, do you want to join the Twins party?
I didn't have a ton of interest, but I mean, big T's on him. 162. I mean, I feel foolish not to play some Twins. So in on the Twins a little bit. But yeah, man, it's like it's not even this year with the Twins. It was last year too. They would always be in a great spot, and it seemed like their ceiling was like 4 runs scored, and they do it like by singles and stupid shit like that. So just for the fact that Big T is on the Twins, and there's no one hotter than Big T out there, I'll play some Twins.
There's no one's hotter than him. Maybe over the last 2 years, but I feel like
I'm talking long term, not short
long term. You're just on a little lucky spree right now, right, Hoop?
Yes.
Just riding the luck. It's a good idea. Hit the like button. That'd be great. Help us with the algorithm. We've been doing this all season long. What is it, about like 200 days of baseball, I think, to get 162 in? It's something like that. It's a lot of days. We put a lot of work in, and we do it for you guys and girls. So, let's go. Last day, throw us a like. We'd love that. It'd make us really happy. I am supposed to do members never win, though. So let's do that really quick because everybody's winning at RPS. If you didn't watch the football show that we just had, let me go through the spiel again. All of our coordinators seem to be red hot right now. They're posting cores. 2 of the 4 weeks this year, including last week, I've had 2 of my biggest DFS weeks in the history of my life, and it's it's taking Hoop's core, and then all I got to do is fill in the other 3 spots. That's helping a lot. Big T's been on fire. Cores, he gives you his core. He gives you all the players in his pool, just like Hoop. DC's doing it over here for baseball. We got guys, he's putting his core up there for football. Uncle T's on a heater. He just won 11K last night. So that's his second big hit recently. And that's baseball. Football, Tambo, Big T, Hoop, all these guys are absolutely murdering it. And I'm telling you, subscribers, you know it. You can put it in the chat right now, subs. You know how good things are going over here at RPS. There's no team that is better, hotter in the business than Run Pure Sports. And I say that not just sticking my chest out. I'm serious. It's 100% and it's factual. Let's get into the members never winning. Hoop won $1 million, but who else won? How about Raholman? 5K in NFL, over 5K. AP, way to go, AP. I didn't know you made 5.6K in NFL. Way to go, dude. Nika hit for over 6K. Pumacom, 8.7K. Uncle Tizze with the 11. Chase Adnick, 45,000 on FanDuel. JT Hayes for 20K, Locks for 213, Hoop for $1 million. I mean, it's just do it. Just get in right now. We just got a couple more subscribers on the football show. And even if baseball with baseball, come on, Cape League burner, Dahmer style. No, we're not. It's John Wayne Gacy style, my friend. But anyways, that's the way we're killing it. But anyways, get in there. Great time to sign up. Go check it out. Even if it's just for a month. Plus, you get in the Discord and you get to hang out and talk with these guys. Look, the subs in the chat are saying the same damn thing. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Let's get back to the baseball.
That Dahmer thing is pretty creepy. Have you watched it?
Yeah, that's K Fleek's burner. He's easily our creepiest member.
No, but it's a new Netflix thing.
Oh, you watched it?
I binge watched like 6 episodes shortly after it came out and had trouble sleeping that night. It was
that's not good.
I watched it. Well, the first one last night, and Mrs. Hoop said she might be one and done. So I might be
it doesn't. If you didn't like the first episode, it just gets.
Were you guys old enough to live through that? Like, do you remember that? Mm-hmm. It was fucking creepy, man. It was really like every night they'd be like, "We're looking for this serial killer." And we got him. And then he got killed in jail. He got impaled.
The Milwaukee Police Department. Yeah, that's a big part of the show.
Not good.
Do a super great job.
Yeah. There's a serial killer on the loose in California right now. So maybe we'll have a documentary on him in a few years. Cubs at Cincinnati. Is Patrick Wisdom a play? Is anybody a play here in this one, DC?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can look to this game for offense on both sides. 2 pretty bad pitchers, Graham Ashcraft, Adrian Sampson, and actually some pretty decent hitting weather, a few places. This is one of them, 76 degrees in Cincinnati. We know it's a great home run park. Problem with Ashcraft, he just gives up a lot of ground balls, so it's kind of hard to take him deep. But the Cubs do have one of the highest team totals on the slate. I kind of like that full-on stack if you want to go that direction. And Cincinnati side against Sampson, bunch of cheap hitters. You can get this stack. Not the top guys, not the first 3 hitters, but if you go down to 4, Nobody really above, 2,700. So I do think kind of the back half of that Cincinnati lineup looks pretty good if you're trying to pay up for pitching. And yeah, if I'm going up against Ashcraft with the Cubs, probably going to be the full on stack that I'm looking at.
Oop, you want to take a stab at this game with Cincinnati hosting the Cubs?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably premier DFS game on this slate. I mean, that's not really saying much, but it's the spot I want to be at. I mean, it's two teams that are just done. No reason for these guys to really get pinch hit. Love the Cubs side because there's upside in there. Franmil Reyes, Ian Happ, Wisdom, like these guys can hit bombs. And then on the red side, it seemed like a good spot against Sampson. This is a game that's definitely interested in. Totals up there at 8.5. Not as much pinch hit risk, I think, as some of these other games. So really like the spot.
Anyone in particular, or just the whole damn spot?
Reyes, Happ, Wisdom. I really like that 3, 4, 5 for the Cubs quite a bit.
Okay. DC, we got Kansas City at Cleveland. Outside of Jose Ramirez, can you make a case for anyone in this game?
Yeah, I think you can. Cleveland looks interesting to me. Jonathan Heasley pitching for the Royals just gets crushed by lefties. The Indians have several good ones. They're expensive. Stephen Kwan, 6,100. Seems a little egregious for him, but
he's 6,100 for Kwan.
Apparently, that's what.
Oh boy, yeah. Look at these price tags. Oh my.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my. Joey Meneses is 5,300. It's interesting.
So I do like these Cleveland bats. Like they're in a really good spot here. Well, not really good, but pretty good. But 6,100 for Stephen Kwan is a hard button to click, especially if you want to play up for pitching. So in the end, I probably will mostly stick to Jose Ramirez, maybe Jimenez and Naylor. That 3, 4, 5. If you're going a little cheaper at pitching or you've got some values, like I do think they're a decent way to go. And even the Royals side of it, I don't hate. They've got a pretty good lineup for them out there. That top 5 looks decent. Aaron Savale, been hit hard by lefties all season long. So I don't mind guys like Melendez, Pasquantino, even Bobby Witt. It looks like a decent game. I do prefer the Indian side of it. It's just they're super expensive. I assume they're much better plays over at FanDuel. I can look real quick. Yeah, Stephen Kwan. Like it's expensive over there too, 3,700, but not quite the $6,100 tag he's got on DraftKings.
Taking some Stephen Kwan today now, aren't you, Hoop? Just to get different.
Well, I'm just looking at him in a good spot, and those price tags will keep people off of them. I mean, those are elite top end price tags where Mike Trout's and Aaron Judge and Ohtani are typically priced, and now it's like Kwan, Andres Jimenez. So I think that'll keep them lowish owned. So yeah, I have a lot of interest now in Cleveland. Our guy Jonathan India got scratched for the Reds. So we like the Reds. He's out, so he was leading off.
There's been quite a few scratches just in the last hour. So if you are playing, you're gonna more so than usual kind of. But the lucky thing is, or the good thing is, once these games lock, that's the entire slate. So you're free. But do follow it all the way until the last minute because we could see more scratches down the stretch here.
Yep. So yeah, I'm in on Cleveland because the price tags are high and should keep ownership low.
And there's ways to get different with the cheap guys too, right? I can't believe that DC's bringing back G-Rise and Spencer Torkelson. But I mean, there are a whole bunch of dudes in the 2Ks where you might have money left over, and if that's the case, you can either leave it on the table or get up to guys like Mike Trout today.
Yeah, G-Rising still following the same form as when he was with Run Pure in the past. He comes into my house. He came over on Monday, smelled like a skunk, and hammered about 20 beers in 3 hours. So he's still the same guy. If anyone was,
did you enjoy your time with him?
Yeah, I actually do. G-Rising is very very nice gentleman.
He's a nice gentleman. He asked to come on the Old Guy Pod too. I was going to get him on today. Just he's late. He's always late getting back. So he always misses the pod. It's fascinating.
He wants to join the squad again. So we'll see what we can do here.
All right.
Nothing like showing up, reeking like weed, drinking all the other person's beers and just heading on your way. Good.
Oh, they were your beers too?
He came to my house. Yeah. He came over on Monday night. Yeah. We
drank your beers?
Well, I mean, I bought a bunch of beers for people. I mean, I had a little event at my house on Monday night, and extended the invite to him and his old lady, and it was fun.
So that's the Hoop Millie party. I win a Millie, I'm not talking to anybody. Just leave me alone. I'm on lockdown for a week. Watch out, escorts. It's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
So let's just move on to our next game.
I don't know like what the premier sex dungeon in the metro area is, but
I do.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, and I'm sure they would have a nice influx of cash if we get the Holden Millie. But if we get the Holden Millie, I don't know if you'll see me back on the show. I just might be peacing out.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you said that. You're like, I almost had a big shipper. I'm like, DC, I'd be happy for you, man. You're on the RPS team. Like, that's good for us. Yeah. You would just cringe if I won big money. I know you would. You'd be so angry. It just hurts my feelings. We got some rain in Boston today, but they're supposed to get this game through. Tampa Bay at the Red Sox. What are we doing here, DC? Because the big guy, they're rolling out the big guys for this game. We got Bogarts, we got Devers in the lineup. They're going into the offseason, and then JD Martinez against lefty. You want to mess with the Red Sox or the Rays today?
I think you could go to either side of this game. Both teams, obviously nothing to play for, but they are rolling out lineups that kind of indicate more so the Red Sox than the Rays. I think the Red Sox kind of sneaky here, playing at home. They've been okay offensively going to the finish here, and they get Josh Fleming. I assume the Rays, who play on Friday, I believe, you would imagine that they are not going to run out any of their good pitchers after Fleming, right? Kind of just throw the scrubs out there, and whatever happens in this game happens. So, Rays have a good bullpen, but I would assume that none of the pitchers who might possibly pitch in the 3-game series coming up will probably be used in this game, which maybe some sneaky goodness on the Red Sox there. It's a confusing slate. I wasn't really on them coming into it, but talking through it, I think they do make some sense. So I'll probably try to get some exposure to the Red Sox here.
Hoop, you want to throw out this A+ Red Sox lineup today? Maybe make a build or two?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, with some of these teams that are in the playoffs, like there's no chance they use or wear down any of their top relievers. They're just not going to do that. So yeah, that does make sense. And yeah, I mean, I'll definitely increase my Boston exposure. And they rolled out their top lineup essentially, top to bottom. Yeah, I like Boston more than I did prior to coming on the show.
Okay.
So I'm not playing the Rays, not going to be on the Rays.
He's been won over. Hit the like button. That'd be great. We would appreciate it. We appreciate all your support this year. We appreciate you watching these shows too. And if you haven't gotten into RPS yet as a subscriber, there's still time. Week 5 of the NFL. Plus, we'll be doing this playoff content for the NFL. Plus, there's the NBA, which is starting up, which until this football season, I thought NBA was our best sport here at RPS. But NFL was always number 2. We're in baseball, but this NFL season has just gotten off to a ridiculous start. And I look for it to continue. Detroit and Seattle. I know you like a little mini here with Detroit, don't you, DC?
Yeah, let's go to our guy Torkelson, who hit 2 home runs in I think a doubleheader yesterday. I mean, why not? 2,200, gets to go up against a mediocre lefty. He's hitting cleanup and coming off the best day of his big league career so far. So yeah, we'll throw one out to G-Rise and then get some Torkelson in our lineups. Eric Haas, I think, is a decent option at catcher at 4,400. Not going crazy with the Tigers. Torkelson, I think, is the value play I want there at 2,200. I do like the Mariners on the other side, though. Rolling out a pretty good lineup. Jared Kelenic did get scratched, so if he was in your lineup, get him out of there. But that top 5 looks pretty good. Julio Rodriguez, I think they want to get him going. He's coming off that back injury. Probably wants to have a day here before they start their playoff series. And they're kind of rolling out their good guys behind him. Ty France, Haniger, Carlos Santana, cheap catcher, and Luis Torrens at 2,300. So that top 5 for the Mariners, you're not going to be crazy excited about it, but it does look better than most spots. And I could see them doing some damage. So I do like the Mariners quite a bit here.
Little M's action today. You want to mess with the Mariners or even on the other side, Hoop?
I like the Tigers side a little bit just because the matchup with Marco Gonzalez, like when he's off, I mean, the dude just gets rocked. And, Javi Baez, Eric Haas, and I mean, in honor of our boy G Risen, I mean, how fitting would it be? Hoop and G Risen hung out on Monday, last game of the season here on Wednesday. His number one guy, Torkelson. I mean, last time I went to G Risen's house once, and he has so many Torkelson baseball cards. Like, I'm not into collecting cards. Like, he has so much. So he needs this guy to get going. Maybe build some momentum going into next season. So Torkelson, Haas, Baez stand out as solid options. And I'm good with the Mariners. Yeah, they rolled out their main lineup here. They could easily get to Alexander early, so fine with them, but prefer the Tigers side.
Well, Tigers. Okay, when are we getting to the Mets here? Because my boy Alvarez is going nuts. And how much money do you think G Risen's losing on Spencer Torkelson? Are you throwing in the towel on Torkelson as a star, DC?
No, too early for that, I think.
He could still be a star.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Our next game on the docket. Hold on, let me get back to my thing here. Okay, San Francisco and San Diego. We know what that city means. I don't know. I don't have a take on this game, DC. Do you? You must have some type of take. It's in San Diego. Craig Stammen, so it's a bullpen day for both teams, right?
Yeah, they were planning to start Clevenger, or his turn in the rotation. I don't know if he's going to pitch after the opener. I'm guessing San Diego's just kind of going to sort of punt this game is my assumption now with Stammen starting. But they do have their good lineup out there. I guess it makes sense for the Padres. I mean, this lineup, offense is kind of sputtered to the finish. Got to try to get a little bit momentum if they can, I think, headed into the playoffs. So you just see Profar, Soto, Machado, Cronenworth, Drury. That top five looks better than most to me on this particular slate. So I do like the Padres offense quite a bit. Giants side, less interest there. I think Mike Yastrzemski looks okay. There's some value down at the bottom of the lineup you could play, but I'm definitely more interested in the Padres side. I could see them doing some damage against Brebia in the bullpen game for the Giants. So yeah, I think Padres definitely a top five stack for me on this slate.
Oh, Padres a top five for you, Hoop?
I'll play him now that DC likes him. I'm going to increase him a little bit. Again, it's a tough slate to get a read on. Big T's on the Twins, DC's on the Padres. I'm going to increase my ownership on both those teams. Not going to mess with the Giants though at all. I have no interest in them, but I will play some Padres now.
Whole year's just been a debacle for them. Went the exact other way from what they did last season. 4 games left. Oh, we got plenty of time. We went too fast through some of these games. So if you don't have any take on these games, just make something up, okay? Because we got to get through the next 20 minutes. It's just as simple as that. I actually kind of like this Mets Nationals game. Alvarez, he had a big one. What was it, last night that he hit his home run? He hit his first home run, right? Anyone?
Yeah, I think I missed
Sounds
it,
about
but I
right.
believe you.
Bueller?
Yeah,
Bueller?
we're rolling with you. Yeah.
Pretty sure Alvarez did.
Yeah,
And,
you got one.
and our boy Joey Meneses has always helped us out. And Lane Thomas, as those guys are at the top of the order. So DC, can you sprinkle some of these dudes in?
Yeah, I think I'm not that interested in the Mets side. Obviously, the Braves won the division, clinched it. So the Mets, you see, no Pete Alonso in the lineup. They're missing some other guys as well. No Brandon Nimmo. A much weakened lineup for them, but the matchup is certainly good against Eric Fetty. So yeah, Francisco Alvarez himself, 2K at catcher, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. I think he is a fun play. A little bit worried guys like Lindor, Vogelbach could potentially come out of this game early. Again, not a guarantee because it's like, yeah, you're resting, you're giving some guys a day off. Like those guys that you're giving the day off, your regulars, they're probably pretty unlikely to come off the bench into the game. So it's almost like the players that are starting, maybe they just let them play instead of, making 2 guys be ready and prepare for the game. So we'll see. I do think Francisco Alvarez, one of, if not the best values on the slate, especially considering he's a catcher, right? Which is the worst position by far. So he makes a lot of sense to me. And the national side, yeah, I mean, they got their guys in there. They haven't had anything to play for basically since the beginning of the season. So I do think you could use those guys against Trevor Williams. The Mets are another team. strong bullpen, they're not going to use any of their good relievers in this game. There's just no chance, getting back to work on Friday. These guys have been worked hard in these last couple of months trying to secure the division against the Braves. So their bullpen, all the viable relievers, I would assume, have the day off today. You could see maybe Nationals can rally late against some Mets scrub. So I think they make some sense as well.
Okay. Hoop, anything you've taken out of that discussion with from DC right there?
Yeah, I like the top of the Nationals order. I mean, Manassas, big upside, Luke Voigt, big upside, Lane Thomas, fine play. So yeah, I like those guys for sure. And then on the Mets side, I'd focus on, Naquin, Alvarez, maybe some of these guys at the bottom. Vogelbach's cheap, and with him obviously just one or two at bats could be good enough, so fine with him. Lindor obviously scares me a little bit. Kana I think stays in there for sure. So it's a team I'm going to be on, a game I think that's interesting from a fantasy perspective. So I'm in on this one.
But it's going to start in a rain delay, by the way. DC, you got any weather update on that? They just announced a rain delay, so
I'll look at it.
It'll start a little bit late, and my sense is that they're not going to be too patient today, right?
They don't need to play this game, right? I mean,
the Mets are locked in, right? So
it is somewhat risky, I'd say, especially being in New York.
Baseball is weird like that, where they will just some teams play like 160 or 161 games. And they just well, can you imagine if the NFL, if like one team is just like, no, we're not going to play week 18. No, we're good. But
there's too much money involved there.
No,
they only got 17 games. These guys, you know what? They will still get the gate. They'll still get people coming in. They'll still sell their things, so they're fine. They might leave you hanging for an hour. You'll know it. You'll know sooner than later if they're going to play that game. But there is some inherent risk there. Okay, so that's that.
There's rain coming, starting in delay. It's enough for me to just move off that game. I'm not
just scratch.
I mean, every team is in play. It's not that great of a spot. No, I'm not gonna wait. So I'm removing those guys.
Okay. By the way, I did not know this. I should have said this during the Seattle breakdown, but DK Metcalf and Julio Rodriguez are pals, texting each other all the time. I always like it when like superstar players from different types of teams, get to have these friendships because they're in the same city. DK Metcalf and Julio Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the better player in his sport, but damn, DK Metcalf is a freaking beast too.
And DK Metcalf, he can introduce Julio to some lovely ladies. Maybe
that is one of my favorite sports stories.
I get it. I get it awesome. From.
Oh, guys, I missed it. So now you're gonna have to tell me.
You didn't know you didn't hear the Metcalf story? That's like a Holden.
I know it's right up my alley, but I missed it. What's up with
that's
DK?
Like a Holden dream come true. What was it? A OnlyFans lady that he pissed off?
It was just one.
No, well, he had picked up two, or did he pick up one or two at the bar? He had them lined up to go, but he had been messaging.
It was a fourth. I think he was trying to hook it up with the foursome, and like one of the girls backed out, and I don't know, went to the press or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the timing was off on it. So he had these two lined up from the bar, and he was trying to get the third, I think Instagram or OnlyFans, whatever. He was trying to get her to come too, but the timing was off. So we basically told the Instagram chick that he'd been messaging, like, all right, don't bother coming anymore. I'll talk to you later. And she got pissed because she got left out and like exposed the whole thing online. Was it last year, I think, or off season?
That's horrible. I'm gonna have to go research that now.
It's a Holden story for sure.
I already like DK Metcalf, but now it's
you'll love him now.
I love him because he was trying to get the third one in. Trust me, guys. Two is just so much coordination. It's tough. It's maybe I just haven't had enough practice, but it is not an easy thing. Philadelphia and Houston. We got Jordan, we got Schwarber, we got the big lefty bats in there today. Our guy Kyle Tucker is leading off against Brady Falter. DC, is there any Houston love this afternoon?
This is a team I will be kind of surprised if their players don't get removed somewhat early. They kind of had Houston did. I kind of thought that was going to happen yesterday, but they ended up putting up 10 runs. To me, that if I'm Dusty Baker, I'm managing them. It's okay. You did it. One last game of big offense, get him in a bat or two here and then take him out, which we've seen him do before. So I'm kind of crossing off Houston from my list for the most part.
No Phillies. We're not messing with that.
Not against Framber Valdez. No, I'll pass.
No Fram. they'll get him some work. He probably won't go deep into the game either, but they're definitely.
Yeah, I would imagine 4 or 5 innings would be my guess for him.
All right. By the way, I just checked out the premium. What is it? The live show chat for those of you that are interested in knowing Hoop's favorite stack and his pitchers. Go in the premium live show chat, like you normally do for the premium shows. Okay. And Hoop left you a little message in there, but Hoop, what about Philadelphia and Houston?
The only guy that stood out to me was Diaz batting second. I think he stays in. I can't imagine he would get pulled. He's like if you're playing on FanDuel, he's 2K flat. Fine with him, 3.6 on DK. But yeah, probably don't want to mess with the rest of these guys here.
God, I think you're going to say the same thing about the Braves today with this lineup. Dansby sitting lead off. You got Contreras and Olsen, and then it's interesting down low, DC. And then on the Miami side, I mean, Miami's Miami, so we know what they bring with you there. This looks like an anemic game to me. Anything?
Yeah, so the Braves giving the day off to Acuna, Austin Riley, and Michael Harris. I would assume those guys, I would be really surprised if they had came into the game at any point. So it's kind of like, we talked about this with a couple teams, the dudes that are resting their stars, the guys that are in there are almost in there out of necessity. You got to be able to field a team, and, they only have so many guys on the bench. So I do actually think the Braves that are in the game, for the most part, probably finish it. Obviously, the two I'd be most worried about would be Swanson and Olsen, but no guarantee. I actually think Matt Olson has a streak of consecutive games played. I think he might have got one day off. I'm not quite sure about that, but in any case, it is a really good matchup, especially for the lefties against Elisir Hernandez. So yeah, Olsen I think is interesting. Some pitch at risk for sure. Eddie Rosario could go to a Robbie Grossman at the bottom of the lineup. Probably pass on Swanson. Just makes me a little bit nervous. I do think Orlando Arcia has been red hot for the Braves. Probably just gets the full 9 here. He's interesting to me at 2,500. So some risk for the Braves for sure, but that's most players on the slate, and some of these guys do have pretty good matchups. So yeah, Braves are all right. And Marlins, I think JJ Bleday, 2,100 hitting second. He's been pretty good for them down the stretch, a top prospect and a good matchup. You could look at Jesus Sanchez as big power. 2,500 gets the platoon advantage. So the Marlins have some hitters rather that I think are in pretty good spots here too. So a decent game despite the bad hitting environment.
Hoop, Atlanta, Miami. Is this a decent game despite the bad hitting environment?
Arcia, good with him. I mean, what is he, 2.5K, second base? I mean, he's going to play. They're not going to – I don't think they yank him out. And then on the Marlins side, I mean, probably a pretty safe team just to roll their guys out. I mean, you get this Bleday guy, 2.1K. I think he's a really good punt option on this slate. De La Cruz, 2.4K. So you have some cheap options here. So, yeah, I'm in on the Marlins a little bit, and then Arcia on the Braves side.
Here we got something from Aaron Boone here. Aaron Boone considered the Triple Crown race and sitting Aaron Judge, but the odds of Judge winning the batting title over Luis Arraez was a long shot. So what do they do with Arraez today? They let him get 2 at bats, and if he's 0 for 2, they sit him because he's 5 points ahead of Judge. Yeah,
I read that Arraez himself wants to, play out the games. So what is he 5 points ahead? I mean,
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was 5.
I mean, that's really lose 5 points in one day, to be honest. Even with an 0 for 5 day, I don't think you go down that much.
I mean, if you lose 3,
I mean, yeah,
Judge would have to go up. I'm trying to find this. I mean, who cares about batting average? But I guess it still matters.
I mean, if you're Luis Arraez, the batting title is probably the only individual award you're going to win.
Yeah, it's 4 points. It's 315 to 311. Yeah. Arraez would have to go 0 for 4, and Judge would have to get 3 hits. It's possible.
Well, Judge isn't in the lineup, right? So.
Yeah, it's done. So that's why. That's what he said. He's like, there's not enough chance because it was too much of a long shot, so we're not going to put him in there.
Yeah. I would be surprised if Arraez got pulled, but obviously it's possible.
All right, DC. If you got anything, pour it out because this is the last regular season game we're going to break down for the 2022 season. And that's going to be Arizona and Milwaukee. And since we like the guy that's going to the mound from Milwaukee, I guess we're down to the Milwaukee Bats. Are we playing any of them?
I'm probably not going to hitters here for the most part. It would be the Milwaukee side. I'm just not going to use hitters against Corbin Burns on this slate. Just too good of a pitcher. All of these bad pitchers to pick on. Not going to be where I go. But, if you wanted to, Corbin Carroll would be my favorite play amongst the Diamondbacks. Brewers, yeah, you could go to a Christian Yelich, a Rowdy Tellez, Jace Peterson, 2,200. Big T probably playing him. That's one of Big T's guys. Garrett Mitchell, I think, hit a home run at 2,100. So actually, yeah, the Brewers side of it against Kelly looks pretty decent. And Kelly's been a little shaky somewhat down the stretch. Not terrible, but it is coming off one of his worst starts of the season, 8 earned runs given up. So maybe he'll limp it home and we'll get some damage from the Brewers here. But overall, not that excited about this one.
Hoop.
Yeah, I'm going to be off this game. I mean, 6.5 total. I mean, maybe a few of those Brewers pieces. Jace Peterson's 2.2K. I mean, that stands out. Garrett Mitchell, 2.1K. So maybe a little mini Brewer stack with those cheap guys, but I don't think I'll be paying up for the premier bats in this lineup.
So here's the deal. If you got any questions for us, great. We got the Print Factory coming up next, our big show. JSU, Tony, ODB, Dunkel, Pumacom. You can tell me if I'm off base here, but I'm pretty sure we're doing that on time. So that's going to start very, very soon. We have gotten through every single one of them, every single one of the games. We'll get the plays of the day. And then if there's no questions, we're going to get out of here and turn it over to the big show that's coming up in just a few minutes. But let's do this. Let's get to the plays of the day. The rich parents play of the day. Your kids can say that about you now officially.
I'm going to my Cubs, and I'm going to go with my guy, Franmil Reyes. He's treated me well in the past. I think the Cubs do very well today. So Reyes at 2.7K on DK, very cheap there. Rich parents play of the day.
How about the mom's basement play of the day, DC? Where are we going in the basement today?
Go to Mr. JSURab, Julio Rodriguez. Fantastic campaign for him last day of the regular season. Gets a bad lefty at home. I think he's got one more home run in him to cap off his regular season. So I'll go with Julio Rodriguez.
All right, this one's for Big T. I'll throw this one out to him today. The edibles play of the day, a guy that no one really knows about, Matt Wallner, who does nothing. Maybe he'll do something. So you got to be on edibles to play him, though. There's no question about it.
I played him one time and he actually did something. So
he cleaned up.
I mean, I remember him doing well. Let's look at this guy here.
Just find that one game where he scored a few fantasy points.
Yeah, his game log doesn't even pull up, so that's not a good sign.
So we'll move on from him. That's the end of it. All right, guys and girls, I love it. Thank you so much for hanging out during the baseball regular season. Don't forget, we will have playoff shows, whether DC likes it or not. He's going to be stuck with me. We got one Friday morning. So Friday morning, that's 11 o'clock Eastern time. That'll be our first playoff show. Okay. 11 o'clock Eastern time, MLB playoff show right here on the RPS channel. And after that, we'll do the cash show with me and Hoop and Mangone. Print Factory about to get going here, about to go tape that. Again, the big guys with JSU, Tony, ODB, and Dunkel. It's a great show. If you play football and you haven't checked it out yet, I don't know why you haven't checked it out yet. That is just absolutely silly. Hoop, good to see you again too, buddy. You've been working your ass off this week. Everybody wants a piece of you after the Millie, so it'll calm down soon. Just have a losing week and everything will be fine.
Yeah, back to normal.
Yeah, I doubt that's the way it is. DC, I think it's, since you've been grinding this out the whole season, you've been on more shows than I have in baseball. I've been on a lot of baseball shows. Why don't you say what we need to do now to get out of here?
Yeah, been a fun season and, at least a few more shows coming up starting Friday for the playoffs. So thanks for tuning in all year long. Love the baseball and we'll keep it going at least for a little bit. With that, Simon, get us out of here.